Hello, my name is Ian Dutton, and I will be your lecturer through the Expert Evidence Training Program, which is produced by the South African Medico-Legal Reports. In this particular topic, we're going to have a look at the overall program and also how this module fits in, which is the introductory module within the program. And you will find the content of what I'm going to take you through in this topic on the South African Medico-Legal Reports website, and you'll see particularly under overview. You can go back and have a look at that at your leisure if you want. But firstly, we've got the Expert Evidence Training Program. Now, what that is a vocational training program. In other words, it is specifically designed for practitioners, either expert witnesses themselves or people that engage with expert witnesses professionally, such as legal representatives, i.e. attorneys and advocates, or mediators who mediate in disputes involving expert witnesses. The program itself consists of a number of modules, which we'll have a look at in a moment. And after each module, there is a certificate. In other words, as the steps are completed, a certificate is achieved relating to that particular module. At the end of the program, there will be a certificate relating to the entire program. You'll see on the web page that we have received some very flattering feedback and tremendously positive feedback about the program. And you can see that Carlos de Silva, SC, had some very kind words to say. He was involved in some of the training, and you will see that there are video clips involving Advocate de Silva's input, as well as Advocate Romeo Minnar and an industrial psychologist by the name of Dirk Myburg, Dirk, just correct that, Dirk Pretorius, and they all made contributions during the course of the video clips, some of which you will watch during the course of the introductory module. But let's have a look at what Carlos had to say. Congratulations on a very well-structured course. We do put a lot of effort into structuring the course, and you see he identifies that a lot of thought has gone into it. We specifically structure this course so that it makes an immediate impact. We quickly get into giving you sort of maximum return for the investment of your time and energy. And then what we do is, as we then sort of, at the second phase, we look more deeply at the principles, and then we expand that into assimilating skills. So there's a specific methodology that has gone into the course, a specific training set of goals that we have. But at the end of the day, we want to produce after this course a person dealing with expert evidence who understands what is required and how to do it. Now, there's no substitute for experience in the long run, but this type of vocational training is, in my view, deeply necessary. There just isn't any proper type of vocational training available for expert witnesses, and it leads to a situation where the courts are requiring stringent standards from experts. Experts are coming under a lot of criticism from the courts, and that can have a profound effect on their standing within the community and on their careers and their professions. But yet there's no backup program. There's no proper instruction as to what exactly are experts supposed to do on a practical level. There are programs available, very good programs, some of them, on what they're supposed to do on a more theoretical level. And those are important. It's important knowledge. But what this course aims to achieve is to look at the practical understanding of how litigation works, the real nuts and bolts, and to start giving some proper skills as to what to do and how to do it. That will then result in the expert witness or the person working with an expert immediately improving their standard of professional engagement. It will also lead to increased confidence and efficiency, because if you know what you're supposed to do and how to do it, you can do it more quickly, and it will accelerate the learning curve. Now, as I said, I've been practicing within the legal profession for more than 30 years. I know that there's no substitute for experience. However, you can accelerate your learning curve. You can make it easier and less painful to learn these lessons, and that's what this course aims to achieve. And then Carlos says, I don't think you'll find a course like this anywhere in the world. I'm very proud to be part of it. Well, that's very flattering, and I thank Carlos for those words. But there's also a point here, and that this is, in my view, groundbreaking work. And I say that in modesty. There are many people that have contributed to the work that we've produced in this program. But I would say that it is completely novel. There is nothing like this, to my knowledge, anywhere in the world. We have really taken a practical approach. I have drawn very deeply, and I must give credit here to the advocacy training program, which I went through when I became an advocate all those years ago, and which advocates to this day go through. And they're exposed to a rigorous training regime that lasts a year for their pupillage. And they're given rigorous theoretical and practical instruction, and then they're assessed on that to a high standard. And the concept that I was taught when I was trained as an advocate, and which I carry with me to this day, is that when you go out as a professional, they used to say that they want to train us properly before they let us loose on the public. And they said that somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but there is actually a lot of truth to that. That if expert witnesses are going to be engaging in the High Court, and you will see through the program the very, very exalted position and trusted position that experts find themselves in, and dealing with people's lives and people's well-being, and with the institution of law and the administration of justice. Those are grave issues and are appropriately dealt with by properly qualified and trained experts. Now, as far as the training, the qualification is concerned, experts ipso facto, in order to qualify as an expert, you must have proper background training. You must have proper education, which will equip you to be a professional within the given profession. But insofar as the training is concerned, it's my view that experts simply aren't given proper quality training, and that's what this course aims to achieve. And then if we go on just to have a look at an overview, the focus of the South African Medico-Legal Reports Expert Evidence Training Program, we offer an essential program for any expert witness, legal representative, or mediator who deals with expert evidence. I've already covered that, but it truly, in my view, is essential. I would go so far as to say that, in my opinion, no expert witness should be venturing near the courts unless they have undergone a training program of this nature. And as I said earlier, there are other training programs. This one focuses on the vocational aspect, on the practical aspects, but certainly some sort of rigorous training would be required. In my view, we put this program together for specific reasons and to specifically equip experts in the preparation and presentation of evidence. And I'm proud to say that I think that it's the best program available on that topic. But I leave that for you to decide and for others to decide, but I will make that claim. We focus on the regulatory and compliance aspects of preparing and presenting expert evidence in the South African High Courts. What I mean by that is regulatory and compliance is that I mean in the sense specifically of what the High Court judges and to a less extent Acts of Parliament require. What are the exact requirements that expert evidence need to meet in order to properly be able to practice within the High Court and to move into this domain of litigation and out of their natural professional habitat? What you need to do and how to do it. And so we divide that deliberately into two categories: what you need to do and how to do it. And if we don't just tell you, well, you need to do 1, 2, and 3, we really do try to impart skills as well as knowledge. And you'll see that through the program. A lot of those skills will obviously come and be sharpened through experience, but at least give you a starting point and a structure from which to work when you venture into this work. If you are an experienced expert, in my view, good experienced professionals know that you never stop learning. Certainly it's the case for me as an advocate. And, I've been around those many years and I learn as much as I did when I started. And then it goes on to say, to comply with the legal principles governing expert evidence required by Acts of Parliament and the High Court judges. I've dealt with that. In today's ever more demanding environment, we provide the knowledge and skills, and I've dealt with that already, to equip you to comply with the duties and requirements of preparing and presenting expert evidence in the High Courts of South Africa. As such, this is must-have training, and I think I've covered all of that. Then don't miss out, just be aware of this. We are finalizing our directory of experts, which will provide information on accredited experts. Those accredited with the South African Medico-Legal Reports. In other words, if you've done this vocational training, and will provide valuable information to the industry on which experts are properly trained in their duties and responsibilities of producing work in the South African High Courts, which will be a considerable advantage to the practice of an expert. So what our accreditation will demonstrate is that you have been given the practical skills and orientation and vocational training for presenting evidence in the High Court, closely allied with what the judges require, but also grounded on rich and strong theoretical principles. There are then the payment options. There's the full program registration. There's the payment plan, and then individual modules can also be purchased. The full program, all of that is available. If you have a look on the registration tab, you'll find details on that, but you just click on any of these buttons and it'll take you straight through to the payment. If you are on this course, you've already made at least one of those payments, and so I'm not going to take you through this in very much detail. It is set out in the, as I say, in the overview tab of the website. Let's have a look then at the challenge. The challenge faced by experts and those dealing with experts such as legal representatives and mediators. The demands on expert witnesses to comply with their legal duties and responsibilities is rapidly increasing as the prevalence of expert evidence increases. Non-compliance can have a devastating effect on the practice and career of expert witnesses and far-reaching implications for individual cases. However, there's no structured learning which teaches the necessary skills and understanding in order for expert witnesses to comply. And so that really elaborates on the points that I already made. This is a tremendous challenge facing experts, and it leads to a sense of a lack of confidence or an uncertainty, a tentativeness on the part of experts very often. It also, incidentally, for legal professionals and mediators, it's important to understand what experts are supposed to do, because from their perspective, you're so integrally involved with expert evidence and the proper preparation and presentation of expert evidence that these principles should be well understood by those professions as well. And then the solution, object of the South African Medico-Legal Reports training program. We teach you what you're supposed to do and how to do it. Our structured program is designed to teach you what you need to know about the legal principles governing expert evidence in the South African High Courts. At the same time, we teach the skills to confidently use the relevant legal principles to your advantage in the preparation and presentation of expert evidence as a professional expert witness, legal representative, or mediator. We will unpack those skills and we'll unpack the individual topics that we will teach you during this program. But that, in a nutshell, is what our intention is on the program, and that's what you will be put through. And then just in regard to improving efficiency and effectiveness, how our training increases efficiency for experts, lawyers, and mediators. So your efficiency aspect and your effectiveness aspect. And our approach is that those two are interconnected. So the more efficient you are, the more effective you are, because it really comes down to you know what you're doing. Through a proper understanding of exactly what you're supposed to do when dealing with expert evidence, you'll be able to focus on doing what you need to do properly and not waste time on unnecessary effort. We see that a lot with experts because there's an uncertainty as to how to approach the preparation and presentation of evidence. There's a lot of wastage of paper, unnecessary thinking, irrelevant thinking, all of that. And then paradoxically, what often happens is the crucial aspects that should be dealt with just simply aren't dealt with. So we aim to address that. And then secondly, how our training increases effectiveness for experts, lawyers, and mediators. This clear understanding leads to, in other words, when you know what you're supposed to do, leads to increased confidence in your work. So we see that as once you know what you're supposed to do, you know what to do, is what I often use that expression. Confidence comes from knowing that you know. So you know the technical side, but you're aware that you know the technical side. So it's a double layer of knowledge, which then gives you the foundation for your confidence. This helps achieving the ultimate goal of expert evidence. Written and oral expert evidence which through a process of logical reasoning persuades others to the opinion expressed. In other words, the ultimate goal of your work is to provide a properly reasoned process which persuades. That persuasion can be of another expert, your opposite number, that your opinion and your reasons are correct. It could be to persuade your own legal team that your opinion is correct, and then they may settle on that basis, or may run a trial based on your opinion. But most importantly, if it gets to trial, to persuade the judge. And incidentally, of course, it may be to persuade the other side, the other legal team. So there are a number of role players who experts are actually trying to persuade. And it is through that knowledge of what to do and how to do it that you most effectively persuade. And let's have a look at the program. So we offer a tiered, in other words, a step up. So you start at the foundation level, move up, structured approach to expert evidence training. We don't call it expert witness training any longer because it goes beyond. We're not only training expert witnesses, we're also training legal representatives and mediators. The structured levels and the activity and benefits of the levels are, and there we've got our different levels. Level 1 is the free training, which really introduces participants to the key principles. We take our free training seriously. We believe that there's a lot of valuable knowledge that goes out with our free training, and we do appreciate that although participants aren't paying for that training, they are sacrificing their time. So we take that seriously as far as giving that knowledge is concerned. But there's another reason why we offer the free training, and that is to allow participants to engage with our work and to decide whether this is the type of thing that they do want to invest time and money in. So it's to give them a fair opportunity to assess us, see what we're about, see the quality of our work. We believe the quality of our work stands for itself, and we're very proud of our work, and we're very confident in our work. And so we expose that to people without charging them a fee, on the basis that let them engage and let them see, and we would very much welcome them to then take a further step and then participate in the paid training programs. Level 2 is the essentials, which is the first module, and this introductory video is then a precursor to the first module. And that will give the participant a structured understanding of the litigation process. So in other words, that now gives an overview, and very quickly and effectively, we go into the structure, we give an overall view. After that module is complete, it's not a very long module, but it's designed to give maximum bang for your buck, if you like. So we want to get a very quick structured understanding. So where there might be loose, unclear thinking or understanding of the context, to quickly and effectively give that context to the participant. Then we go to level 3, which is intermediate, and that's command of key principles. So level 3, we delve a lot more into the actual principles themselves, what exactly the judges have said in all the leading judgments, and we dive into a number of topics, which is unpacked in respect of that particular module. But we go into a number of key topics that come up regularly. So level 2 is the overview. Level 3, we dive more into those topics and the principles. And then level 4, which is advanced, is the internalizing of skills. And we do that through workshops and through actual practical work, but also through a mock trial, which then demonstrates a number of those key principles. We can't do them all, but we select some key principles and we then apply that and demonstrate that through the mock trial. And then if we have a look at the program curriculum, you'll see that we have the various module levels. There's one additional level, and I've taken you through those modules. You can have a look at that table in a bit more detail if you want to. But you'll see that we build that knowledge step by step, and we build the skills step by step, so that by the end you've got quite a structured, polished overall understanding, and you're ready to go out into the real world and to start getting that experience, but with the confidence of knowing what you're learning and to fit it into a structured understanding of what you're doing. The one that I do want to point out is module level 5. That's not included in the program. That is current awareness, and you'll see that up on the tabs. under monthly certification. And what that is once the program is completed, then the monthly certification is divided for lawyers and for experts and mediators, but that is designed to keep you abreast of development. So if we look at monthly assessment and accreditation, not included in program, it's 500 Rand a month for the monthly assessment and accreditation. It gives you current awareness of personal injury principles. So whatever's coming up now in the case law will be dealt with in your monthly certification, and you'll be assessed and certified monthly that you're proficient in personal injury principles. And the benefit is a demonstration of ongoing proficiency in personal injury matters. So that will then show that on an ongoing basis, you've got that understanding. I just want to then circle back and just go through the other tiers. The free training, which it consists of a number of tutorials on key principles and cases. That will give an unstructured awareness. So we select cases that have important principles, but we don't put it into an overall program or structure. We just deal with it on an ad hoc basis as they come up. Those that have done the program will be able to then slot that knowledge into their structured understanding of the topic. Unstructured awareness and opportunity to engage with the learning materials. So as I say, it gives an opportunity to try out the work that we produce. Then the introduction to expert evidence, which is what we're dealing with in this particular module, is the activity is a quick, affordable understanding of essential concepts, and the benefit is an increased confidence through structured understanding. The intermediate expert witness training, detailed understanding of legal principles, and the ability to command subject matter through structured knowledge. So now this is where you get more deeply into it. You've got your overview, now looking at the deeper principles within context. The advanced expert witness training is high-level development of key skills. So now you've got all your building blocks in place. Now we really go with that high-level development of key skills and elite-level internalizing of key skills. That then, the last aspect, and you can see that there's a lovely quote from Lorna Ferguson, who's one of our advanced level participants. She's completed the advanced level. She's an attorney by training, and she has a wealth of experience, generally speaking, but she has found this there's a comment on the advanced training, which I think will be helpful to understand. All right. And then about the program, we've got various comments, but those are not really relevant to the program itself, but you can have a look at that in your own time if you want. So just to conclude, we will now embark on level 2, which is the essentials. Please participate in the free training tutorials. They'll be very, very helpful. You should start finding the free training tutorials easier once you start getting into the program. There'll be a lot of knowledge that you will take with you as you look at the free tutorials. And then what is not included on this particular slide, but just to be aware of, is the monthly certification, which is something which will also be included in the directory of practitioners to show who is up to date with their content and their knowledge. Thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next module.